Hello, everyone. It's Retro Nerd Girl, and I'm broadcasting live from the International Science Fiction Space Station. Before we begin today's discussion, I wanted to, well, before I do that, I'll acknowledge I got Amy Jo Johnson in the chat, and I also have William Blake Hall. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate you. Simply Steve is also here, and Keith E, who can also hear me. That's awesome. So glad that you're here, Keith. Guys, before I get started, I really wanted to talk about my friend who unfortunately, oh God, I hope I don't get, I hope I don't start crying. Oh gosh, it's about to happen. My friend who passed away a few days ago, and I didn't even know he was sick. And usually I try to look at his channel to make sure, to see how he's doing. Because I just think he's a really cool guy. He's been nothing but really sweet to me. And let me just share. It's a good friend of the channel, Clobber in Times. Very, very supportive, very sweet man. And he has been so very kind to me. And I just it's just heartbreaking to know that he is not going to be with us anymore, but he is in a great place, I believe. And I think that all of his friends and everything, I send all my love out to all of the people on his channel that were really special. Raquel, who is absolutely an incredible woman. She is, I think she's going to be taking over things from now on his channel, which is really great. But she is an incredible woman, a writer, an absolute goddess. And then there is wonderful Mark. And I'm so bad at remembering names when I'm really, really uh, nervous, and so I am a little nervous to say this because of course, I don't want to get anything wrong. It's on the channel with us talking about Christmas songs, if a couple of you guys remember, and he was also a big part of the channel, and he has a Sunday night shindig that he's always invited me to and things like that. So I do hope and pray for that that Raquel and Mark are doing well. I mean, I'm sure they're torn up about it as much as everybody else, but it really they have such a wonderful little community over there, and I was so lucky to be a part of it for the little short amount of time that we spent together. I did put together a playlist for him. There's also a drive, I believe, for his family. So if anybody is hearing this that actually knows him, do let me know. I think if you go to one of the second to last videos that they did, he had um, there's like a drive or a GoFundMe for his family. So if anyone knows him, just if you want to help out the family, that is also available. So sorry to bring this down on you, but I really loved hanging out with him, and he was such a wonderful guy. And yeah, let me just see if I can get that playlist for anyone who wants to take a look at that playlist, because it'll just take me a moment. I think I need to I have it privated, so let me make it public. If I can. Make it public for everyone. Well, for some reason, it won't let me make it public. Oh, here we go. Public, and Yes, let me put his and his channel is going to continue on. And so, if anybody wants to go over there and support by just, subscribing and watching, I'm sure they're going to continue on with that. He um, was a big lover of Star Trek. If you want to go back to some of their old videos. They went through like all the episodes of Star Trek. They were doing Blake Seven. He was also a big lover of comic books. Had owned a comic book store, and so there's a lot going on, a lot of material there. So if you are a comic book lover, he was definitely very, very into that, and it was just really just an incredible guy, and he will be insanely missed. Right after my one of my best memories of him is really more recently, and I added that to the playlist. Was that right after my New Year's Eve show that had gone on for like 6 or 7 hours. I don't know why. I headed over to his channel just to, hang out in the chat and just sort of like see what they were doing. And then Mark like shot me like a little um message and said, "Hey, you want to come on?" And I was like, "Okay." And when I hung out with them for like another couple of hours, and then after the show was closed, we talked for such a long, long time. So, that's, that's recent. That's recent. So it kind of hurts a little that he won't be with us, but definitely he will be missed. He will be missed. So thank you for listening to me go on and on about my friend. But I think he's such a special guy. We should always remember him. All right, guys. With tears in my eyes, we shall go on. And I'm going to read some of your comments here. The topic for today is top 20 one-off movies that could have had sequels. Now, just to clear it up for anybody, we're not saying that these movies should have sequels because we know we've heard a lot of um, we know of a lot of sequels that are coming out, and we're tired of sequels. But just in case there was an IP out there that maybe you felt should have had a fully imagined world. This is definitely the talk that we're having today, which is kind of the nerdy stuff us nerds like to imagine. So let's get it going now. I told you that Amy was here, and let's see what she says. One of her earlier comments. Sorry, I ran late today, but I have done my research for some of the movies, yes, that have to be deserving some sequels. And I have found several movies that should, however, be deserving a ton of sequels to point out. Oh, awesome, awesome. Because I have 20, but I also have more. It's like a bonus, you know. So let's see. And I think your list looks a lot different than mine, which is awesome. And say the undiscovered country, first contact and generations, the wrath of Khan, the voyage home, the final frontier, insurrection, Care Bears, the movie, a new generation, Scooby Doo 2. Oh, okay. Um, And I think, well, what I think maybe I have a different thing because what I was looking at are movies that were just one movie. They never had any sequels. Like, so, like, Star Trek has, like, a whole bunch of stuff, but I see what you're saying there. We should have had, like, for each one of those movies, like, a follow-up. What happened afterwards? So, yeah, and Monsters Unleashed, I don't know what that is, but, then you say, then there was Return of Jafar and King of Thieves, Mulan 2, Cinderella sequels, Bear, and 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 The Little Toaster Goes to Mars, and Brave Little Toaster. Um, and see, so I think you're naming off all of the the, the sequels. Let's see, and that is like an endless list. That's an endless list. And, William Blake Hall says, hey, is saying hi to Amy Jo, and, says, "I don't know how many movies I really want a sequel to, but I'm up for the discussion." Yes, yes, these are good ones. I picked some good ones. I picked um, William Blake Hall says, "Not sure. Are we saying there's already an official list and somehow you know it, or are you offering candidates?" Oh, definitely offering candidates. Like I know that there are many people on the internet who are like the best, sci-fi movies of the 50s, and I'm like, are you sure? Like that's not my list, but this is definitely my pick, but, it's not an official, like, stamped of approval by all of the, s people ever, so Yes, okay. Yeah, so it's, it is definitely probably the opposite of what I'm not sure, but it's one-off movies that could have a sequel, that meaning that they never did get a sequel, and we want a sequel to those. And, Simply Steve 68 says, "Yep, audio acknowledged." I like that one, yeah. Uh, and, oh, thank you so much, Amy Jo. Yes, I appreciate it. I really feel more for his family and the people that were really closer to him, but, he was super, super nice, and what a groovy dude. He was always really sweet and kind to me, and, and seemed to be very, very sweet to everyone. So, Keith E says, "You may want to reach out to anti-derivative Jill also." Oh, I hope she's doing alright. Okay, yes, I will. Um, yes, I certainly will. Thank you, Keith E, for, reminding me about that. Um And, Amy just says, "I hope and pray for you, Retro Nerd Girl. I'm lucky to be a part of the channel." Oh, you're so super sweet. You're so sweet. Um, William Blake Hall says, "Is that the Liberator in the Clobber and Times banner?" I'm not sure. I'm not. I'm not as big of a Fantastic Four comic fan as maybe the other people might have been, but definitely um well, Simply 68 says, yeah, from Blade 7. Okay, okay, we got confirmation. Thank you, Simply Steve 68. We got some experts on in the chat. And Keith E says on Jill's channel today, at the very beginning, she posted a link for the Fund Me page. Yes. Oh, good, 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 good. Yes. I don't have that, but I think in that the very first video that comes up for the playlist, in the description, there is a GoFundMe, because I think that was the memorial they had 2 nights ago I did not know about, and so I really wish somebody had told me about it. I found out about it earlier today. A friend sent me, I'm sorry, last night, a friend sent me, a little note saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry about, um, Clobber Times," and I was like, "What?" No, 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 no. And so I went to his channel, and sure enough, and it was really um, sad to see. And Gary Carpenter is here. Hi, hi, Gary. How are you? How are you? Um, and let's see. And Amy just says, I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. And simply, Steve 68 says, yes, he was such a great friend to all of us. He was so fantastic. Yep. Yeah. And Gary Carpenter says, I was watching a special from years ago. It's the silver anniversary of MGM, and it showed some clips from the old movies from the 20s and through the 50s. Oh, that sounds like a great special. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'll have to look that up. Silver anniversary. And Amy Jo says subscribed. Yes, they're going to continue. Raquel and Mark is they're going to continue the channel, and I can't wait to see what they do with it and what they'll how they'll proceed forward. They're really brilliant. So I can't wait. We'll support them as much as I possibly can. And let's see. Gary says, I don't know if The Labyrinth would have had a sequel or not, probably wouldn't be as good as the original. Oh, yeah, did you take a special little peek in at my list? It's on my list. It didn't make the top 20 though. It's definitely part of the bonus. That's just a little bit under the hood of what's coming up. And Keith E says, my example would be Groundhog Day. Oh yes. And I was looking for the movie to add to my list, but I didn't get a chance to put it on the list. But Groundhog Day, I've always thought about having a Groundhog Day again. That's the title of the name of the book of the movie. Groundhog Day again, and then have it be somebody else go through this. And you could do a guy, or you could do a girl. It doesn't matter. Just as long as you get the spirit of the first movie, meaning a person changes and learns how to be a better person over time. And according to like the film knowledge, it was like 10,000 years. Something really wild. The length of time that it took for him to change was 10,000 years. Wow, that's a long time. But yeah, I've always dreamt of a Groundhog Day sequel, and I didn't put it on the list because for some reason I was having trouble finding it. So, but yes, that is an excellent one right there. And Gary Carpenter says Hocus Pocus shouldn't have been a sequel. I don't think. Yeah, it ended perfectly. I don't know why they bothered with that. Um, I wouldn't mind the prequel, like a full-on prequel, but they yeah, we didn't need a sequel for that. And William Boycott says that would be easy, Keith. Just reissue it. Uh, and let's see. And or call it February 3rd. I like that. I like that so very much. You guys are so smart. Yes. Yes. I like that. February 3rd. Or to continue the story on with the same characters. Like what happens on February 3rd with these guys? What if he just like, okay, I'm out and now could be a jerk again. And then he has to go through the whole process all over again. That would be really hilarious, but also very cruel. William says, there must be a vault somewhere filmed with scripts named ET2. Oh yes, ET2. That's oh actually that's on my list. Yeah, that's on my list. Um, Gary Carpenter says ET2, no way. Yeah. Well, I thought, well, see, it would have been really nice if all of they came and they got ET and then they left, right? And then what if they left ET had laid an egg and there's like a little baby ET. Oh man. And so now they have to create a whole new device in order to call home to pick up the baby. Interesting. Um, well, yeah, maybe that's silly, but that's the only way I could think of it. William Blake Hall says, "I'm glad that Spielberg was adamant against that. There was but there was a push. Oh wow, all right. Also, another thing to that is that the government did do some experiments on him. And what if they just took his DNA and cloned him? Oh, no. Very interesting, very interesting. And William Lake Hall says they did a sequel to Cocoon after all. Yes, they did. And Simply Steve says, how about movies that tease a sequel with a blurb at the end? Yes, I have a couple of those on there. And you named a couple, but except for Dr. Detroit is one I don't have on my list. Um, Dr. Detroit 2, The Wrath of Mom, and Buckaroo, Buckaroo Banzai versus the World Crime League. Yes, I did have that one on the list. Let's see. And let me see if I can read these faster so we can get to the list. Gary Carver said, "At least they didn't make a sequel to Titanic." Oh man! And William Blake Collins says, "Steve, yes, I'd be up for a Buckaroo versus the World Crime League. I think so too. I think so too." And let's see. William Blake Call says, "Silent Running 2. Ooh, ooh, benevolent aliens find the domed forest and try to recreate Earth's ecology somewhere. Very nice. I like it. Well, I wouldn't even mind if um that disc kind of lands on a planet and then all of a sudden, it, like creates a little Earth too, you know. Um and Gary Carpenter says Willow, Krull, Red Sonja were great and they didn't need to be a second movie. Well, I have one of those movies on there just for the heck of it. And Integrity 101, so great to see you. When I was a kid, I really wanted a sequel to Dick Tracy and the Rocketeer. Oh, those are two good ones. I think they were both underrated. Dick Tracy was unique, special, especially for the colorful sets. Rocketeer is criminally overlooked. Yes, it definitely is. It definitely is. And, oh, this is gonna be, Ms. Tenacious. Oh, yes, Miss Tenacious, yes. Hi, Retro Nerd Girl. I got a heart, pride heart. I got a rainbow. I got a pride, Philly pride heart and rainbows. This is really cool. Let me see what. Oh, I see them. I see. Thank you so much, Miss Tenacious. And Gary says to 101, I love both of them. They were great, just like they are. Yeah, yeah, they were great movies. But I think for the Rocketeer, I really wanted more. It seems like you could have done a lot with that, a lot. And free one is like, when is that Mrs. Doubtfire sequel coming out? Now, this is not the first time you're mentioning Doctor Mrs. Doubtfire. So, is that like your favorite movie? uh, and William Blake Hall says, Gary Amicio, in a way, Raise the Titanic is a sequel to the Titanic. Oh, okay, so is that the movie? It was like a documentary? Because I was just thinking that. I was just thinking that, but I wasn't sure. And Amy just says, I know. And Freeman says, when in doubt, fire. And Gary Carpenter says, Bill, I have not seen it yet. I got it on my library phone. Oh, okay. And everyone says the sequel to Jet Li's The One, call it Two. Okay, so that's a movie I've always wanted to watch. Because I only got a chance to see the last clip, and I was like, "What movie is this?" And it was just like the credits were rolling on it, and I was yeah, I was like, "I need to see this movie," but I never got a chance to. The world, living life was lifing, and, William Blake says, uh, "It's an odd movie, wouldn't work without, what we know about the wreck of the Titanic nowadays." Yeah, yeah. Um, uh, and, Amy Jo mentions the Ted movies. And, Integrity says, "Just when you thought it was safe to go back into the water, Titanic 2 sea zombies." I kinda like that. But just the sea zombies part. You could do an unofficial if you're a writer, you could do an unofficial Titanic 2 inspired script called Sea Zombies, and, just have all these zombies kinda come back, and remember that scene from Ghostbusters? I'm not sure if it was the first Ghostbusters or the second one, where the, Titanic, was risen from, very, very, interesting ideas here. Um, let's see, let's keep going. I'm gonna just zoom down, um, a little bit. And, Integrity 101 says, "Yeah, they really dropped the ball with not making a Rocketeer 2." Yeah, that was a franchise, and I don't I don't know what happened there. Just seems weird. And maybe it was because it was set in the 40s. They just didn't know, it just feels like out of time. So maybe that was the reason why we never did get a Rocketeer 2. Besides it not doing that well in at the box office. And William Blake also says Raise the Titan was a strange old adventure movie. Titanic was actually resurfaced by a hug uh, engineering project, a huge engineering project. Okay. Yeah, and I know that there was documentary which is kind of like them like searching for, and I couldn't do something dramatically like that. Um, and Stunt Brat is here. Hello, Stunt Brat. So great to see you. And says my sweet retro girl, Barbie sequel. Oh my goodness. Yes. Well, I think they're gonna work on that. It says hugs. Oh my goodness, hugs to you as well. And oh yeah. I understood. And, let's keep going. Okay, I might skip a couple of these, don't get mad at me. Uh, and, well, the last one we got here oh, wait, what was I got, Gary Carpenter says, "RNG Ghostbusters 2 had the Titanic come to New York City." Yes, that's it, Ghostbusters 2. Um, so, like, yeah, imagine if that was, like, the premise of a movie was that moment in that scene, and, of course, you need, like, some kind of bad guy to be the hench guy, or the person causing all the problem, all the mayhem, and, Simrat says, "My ex worked on The Rocketeer. The director, Joe Johnson, directed me in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I visited the set." Oh, wow. Um, that's so cool, and Gary Carpenter says, "I really did enjoy the Shrink movies. They were really good." They were, right? And, William Blake calls this Fantastic Voyage too. Ooh, that's when they got small and then they went into, the human body, right? I wanna see that, the first one, 'cause, Raquel Welch is in that one, right? Um, I think I've got the right one. And Free One says, The Jerk, uh, 2, Jerked, starring Steve Martin. Oh, we can still do it. He's still, still acting. And, Sunrise says, "Thanks, Gary. I just worked on the first one and doubled for Amy, for the dustpan and mud fall scenes." All right. And William Blake Hall says, Absolutely, go check out the original Fantastic Voyage RNG. Okay, I will, and I'm not sure if I have a copy of that. Um, but for all of you members, keep your eyes open. Not this week, but in the next coming weeks. I'll try to add that to the schedule. And simply Spaceballs 2, the search for free for more money. That would have been cool. Actually, you still could do it. Could still do it. Oh my goodness. All right, so let's get to the list that I've compiled, and we'll have some fun with that because I think there's some hilarious ones on there too. Um, and so let's get that up there. Top 20 one-off movies that could have had a sequel. Okay, my first one is Masters of the Universe because, of course, we get at the very end Skeletor saying, "I'll be back," and we've been waiting for how many years now for him to be back? So yes, I want my Masters of the Universe live action movie part 2 with Frank Langella as Skeletor. Um, and let's see. Oh, and William Blake Hall mentions that Spaceball had a kind of sequel with the animated series. Yes, they did. Yeah, I remember that. And I liked that series actually. It was funny. It's different but funny. And Gary Carpenter says, "RNG, my dad didn't like Fantastic Voyage. He didn't like the giant blood balls that were in that one scene." Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to look out for it. And Charles Radcliffe is here. Hello, great to see you. Says, "I have the power." I know. You know what I would love is He-Man's sword. That would be a cool holy grail for me. I would love that. Or She-Ra's sword, but I would like He-Man's. I mean, that's the one I grew up with. And William Blake Hall says, "Fantastic Voyage, perfect movie for Dracula." Blood as far as they can see. That's right. Yes. And Integrity 101 says, "My inner child resents Masters of the Universe because it got half of the budget for Superman 5, sorry, 4, The Quest for Peace, which still hurts my nerd heart." Oh, I see what you mean. One of these days, I'll learn how to move on. Yeah, it did, look, I think that, of course, the Superman 4 movie was I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. But yes, it was lacking. There was some serious problems, but I think Superman, the franchise for that era was really, really, like, having a bad time after the 2nd movie. It was just Superman 3 was I loved it, but it just people didn't enjoy Superman 3 very much. I loved every single moment of it. It was so corny and silly, and I loved it. Um, and Sunbret says on Spaceballs, our wedding dresses were so elaborate we weren't allowed to eat eat in them. Oh wow, yeah. Let me see. And Gary Carpenter says, "I thought Masters of the Universe was really good." I thought so too. I mean, I think I was a super fan back then. Um, and and like now I'm not so much a super fan, but I do remember this movie and just loving it. And I must have seen it at least like 40 times total. So I did like it a lot. And I loved Dolph Lundgren, and I loved, Frank Langella, so it was just one of those things. It had everything I wanted, and, but it did not have, Eternia, and the story set in Eternia, and so that was the biggest problem, and so Masters of the Universe 2 would have solved that because they were in Eternia at the end, and, it would been nice to get sort of a good story with a battle on the battleground of Eternia, and more backstory for He-Man and Adam, him as Adam. I mean, Adam doesn't even make an appearance in the movie, so it'd been nice to get that, and a whole bunch of other little things I really wanted, from the story. And, Kate he says, "I've not been reading the chat, I'm waiting for Cable Guy." Oh, for the Cable Guy. Oh, okay. Ah, I thought you meant the Cable Guy, the movie. And Gary Carpenter says, "The Super Friends did a parody of some of the movies and books." Oh, I didn't know that. And, Simply Steve 68 says they had to change a couple of characters for some reason. Gwildor instead of Orko, yes. And Orko would have been so great to see, but that's it's effects heavy. You need to have this floating character throughout the scene, and I think they were like, you know what, let's just make it easier on ourselves and just have a little tiny guy. And Integrity says, Superman 4, the budget was 34 million. Superman 3 was 39 million. By the time Superman 4 was made, the budget was around 12 million, which of course is not what Chris Reeve signed it on for. Yeah, yeah, that's horrible. That's horrible. Um, yeah, they should not have done that. They should not have done. And William says, "Yeah, the FX was so pitiful. It was terrible, yeah." But, I mean, I just loved all that stuff anyway. So, I didn't even care about the special effects. It was Superman, guys. And Integrity says, "I don't honestly have anything against Masters of the Universe, but, that just always comes to mind as a Superman nerd." Oh, I hear you. I hear you. Um, and, yes, definitely, it was mom. Sadly, sadly. And, Superman 3 had the budget, but lost the heart. Yes, yes. They didn't know what to do with, the character really. Superman 4 regained the heart, but had no budget. Uh, yeah, it also has to be with somebody. You have to know how to write around that, and also, like, you can't, like, spend 6 months working on these projects and then find out the last minute you don't have money or things like that, so there's a lot. There's a lot. Uh, and Gary Gardner says, I mean, he was, uh, the real cable guy. Yes, that's what I was thinking too, but, yeah, at first I thought it was Cable Guy, this, movie. And, that definitely had a sequel. Um, yes, William Blake also says, Steve was, special, true that. And, yeah, so, okay, I'm gonna go on to the next one. The next one is Galaxy Quest! I always wanted, like, another adventure with these guys, and, you know, just to see about this world out there of real aliens, like what other aliens are out there, and uh, you know, just their interaction with these guys. Like I just wanted another one, the whole team together. Unfortunately, um, it's not to be with all of the characters, but maybe there's still a chance. You never know. And let's see. I'm just gonna zoom down. And Integrity 101 says, one of the movies that never got a sequel. How about the Batman? Oh, zip. Yes, the Batman never did get a sequel. Even though they are promising that they're gonna get a sequel, but yeah. And for everyone, that is the Pattinson version that just came out. I did not see that movie, but yeah, I it is, one of those things, the, um, There is going to be a TV show of the Penguin, but not, a part 2, so we're waiting for that. They claim that it's coming, so we'll wait and see. Uh, and Charles says, "I love this Star Trek spoof." I loved it too. It just felt like so lighthearted and fun, and there's just such a wonderful love of nerdy stuff and nerds too, sort of like giving us our our flowers a little bit. And Botanical Brother says, "Hey there, RNG. I really like the idea of the device that opened the dimensional door. Always in the Masters of the Universe, physics are postulating that dimensions might be tonal in nature. Yes, yes, that was really good. The cosmic key, baby, that was hot. It was like dun 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 dun. Sound a little bit like the Close Encounters, sound a little bit, but it was nice, I loved it. Give me 1 second, guys, I got an allergy issue. Yeah, yeah. Sorry about that. I had a crazy attack right there. Um, oh my god, it's still happening. Sorry about that. Um, give me 1 more minute. Wow. The allergies, they're coming to get me. All right. Well, see, that's what happens. You start crying a little bit, and then all of the allergies are like, "Yeah, she's she's ready for attack." Oh man. And William Blake Hall says, "I love Galaxy Quest, um, but I'm very satisfied with how it wrapped up. They stayed on Earth and created new historical documents." Yes. Yes. And this is why I called it, I didn't say should have sequels. I said could have sequels because I didn't want to get too into like, oh, this absolutely should have one. I as a greedy nerd, I would love to have had a little something like this. Or I wouldn't even mind if there was something that was kind of like this, and or if we could actually see the historical documents that they were making, kind of like this fake um story, this fake world that they were creating on the show. So I kind of wanted to see all the episodes, if you know what I mean. And so yeah. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that. um and Botanical Brothers says Galaxy Quest is a joint. Isn't it so good? I just love it. And Integrity 101 says 20 years in Warner Brothers Discovery, Gotham City. We know what premises are worth. Yeah. And Amy Jones says Twilight actor was Batman. Yeah, and you did see it. Yeah, did you like it? I don't. I um. I'm not sure whether to see it because I'm not sure if people. I will eventually see it. I'll eventually see it, but I have a long list of movies before I see that one. And, and, and Integrity says, I doubt if it gets a sequel. It might not get a sequel, yeah, because, a brand new universe is coming up for, DC, and I just don't see how they're gonna have 2 Batmans running around. It doesn't seem like something that, is possible. But, Gary says, "I've seen, that Batgirl and had a TV pilot show, and she met Wonder Woman." Oh, and, simply, Steve 68 says, "Yeah, there are some movies that are nice one-offs. Others felt like they should have had a sequel to provide closure." Yes, just a few, just a few. I mean, but, I do like the idea that Galaxy Quest is over, but I wouldn't mind seeing the historical documents. And, Amy just says Christian Stewart, Bella as Batgirl. Oh, that's actually interesting. I wouldn't mind that. Um, yes. It's just a little something I came up with to help me when I was experiencing extreme allergy attacking. And Gary Carmen says, "Wow, that's so freaky. That's freaky." And I thought mine was terrible allergies. Oh, they're so bad, especially like the weather's been so weird around here. It's like in the 70s, but extremely windy. And so, and then it was just there was one week where it just rained the entire week. And it's, strange, the week before that, it was cold and the sky was streaky. So, guys, if you see that, that the sky is streaky, meaning like the clouds look like streaks, it'll this is cute. It's gonna rain for a weekie. That's the thing. So if the sky is streaky, it's gonna rain for a weekie. That's that's the old saying, and it's true. It's absolutely true. Integrity says, "I would have said Beetlejuice, but that's finally happening." I know, right? Can you believe that? To be honest, though, I'm pretty confident that I'll also fall victim to studio meddling one way or another, even with Tim B at the helm. Oh, I hope that, that doesn't happen, but so far it looks interesting. Um, so far it looks interesting. I I don't know what to say, but it would be nice to see those actors again and just sort of like, if it's bad, we'll just deal with it. But I won't. It's nice to see the actors, still doing their thing. All of our favorite characters back together again. And Gary Carpenter says reptililius Repticilius, the giant claw, behemoth, and gargoyle didn't have any sequel. So I need to see all four of those movies. Those are all on my list of movies to see. So yes, I mean, I it, Gary Carpenter, these movies. Uh, they are the monster movies, and I think of from yesteryear, and I think they would be cool to see because sometimes they'll insert like a couple of science fiction things in there. So they're cross between like monster movies and science fiction. So can't wait to see those. Uh, and Oh, and Amy just said she can't wait till the second Beetlejuice. Oh, I can't. Well, I'm glad that somebody's excited about it because I am curious about it, and like I said, I just want to see the our characters together. But I always have in the back of my mind, yeah, they could mess this up because we thought with Star Wars, the sequels, they were gonna land that plane, and they did not. And so, it's not a guarantee that it'll be a great movie, but again, it'll be great to see our our people together again. And William Blake also, Gort, the day the earth stood still, I don't even care about a story. I just want Gort back. Yes, I have that on my list. I do, I do, I do. In fact, let me see if it's the next one. Oh, no, the next one is Flash Gordon, guys. And Dan Candy is here. Hello, Dan Candy. So good to see you. And William Blake Hall says, I'm sorry, Gary Carpenter says to William Blake Hall, Gort is good, but at least they made a remake, which wasn't that good. But I felt like the original movie one. Yeah, I saw that remake with Keanu Reeves, and I think they missed the point of the first movie completely, and that was kinda sad to see. It's like, "No, you don't understand the first movie," and that wanted to sit down with them and, like, show them, "Okay, this is why this movie is important." So that was the problem with that movie. They didn't understand um, the moral implications and the higher concepts that were uh, being told in the original. So yeah, and Integrity 101 says Incredible Hulk with Ed Norton. Yes, I always wanted to see him continue on with the Hulk, and so I was really surprised uh, to see the next Hulk with like, and I'm like, wait a minute, Ed Norton? And so yeah, it was kind of disappointing actually, and it gave me it was very difficult for me to connect with the new Hulk for a while for a long while, actually. Mechanical Brother says the bridge of the starship in Galaxy Quest was actually constructed on hydraulics to accentuate unison in the actor's physical reactions to recoil shock when the ship was bombarded with weapons. Oh, it sounds so awesome. Yeah, I love that. I love everything to do with that movie. It's just incredible. Did we do a watch party for that yet? I don't think so. Did we? It may be time to do that. And and Stefan says, if the sky is streaky, the chemtrails are leaky. LOL. Yeah, that's another streak in the sky. Yes, but there's like there's a way that the clouds look just before it rains a lot, and it's like they instead of puffy clouds, they're like all streaked. It's kind of wild. But for sure enough, there it's gonna rain. Um, and William Lake says RNG, the giant claw is an accidental laugh riot. Oh, really? Okay, I can't wait to see it then. And so Steve 68 says actually, Ink Hulk was not the Hulk sequel. As Ink Hulk was the first MCU movies, the Hulk with Eric Bana was a comic booky standalone. Oh, okay. I like um, actually, I didn't mind. I liked that one too, the Eric Bana one. I did like that one. Um, it was sort of like the Ed Norton, and then and then the jump to wait a minute, unless did Ed Norton do it first or did Eric Bana do it first? Please, like, let me know. And maybe it was just me not being able to connect to yet another change. Um, in the characters. And Integrity 101 is responding to Simply Steve 68. Yep, that's what I'm saying. I'd love to the Incredible Hulk 2 with Edward Norton. Yeah. Yeah, I thought that but didn't at the end of that movie there was like some of his blood got onto another character and it kind of teased that there was going to be a second one, a continuation of that story. Um that's what I'm remembering. I may need to rewatch those movies. It's been a while. I haven't seen them since I saw them the first time. And Gary Carpenter says, the bird, could have been better, but it looks like a reject from the from the Muppets, from the clown movie, okay. Oh, the Outcast Creative, Lance is here. Hello, Lance. Oh, good. So good to see you. Okay. It says, yay, Retro, loved Flash. This could have been had a sequel for my 12th birthday. Aw. Yes, I mean, it was another one where you saw some uh, a stranger with a glove on grab hold of Ming's ring. And I think they were insinuating that Clytus was gonna be the next big villain of Flash Gordon, and that never happened. And it just breaks my heart because I'm like, I love this movie so much. The design, the colors, everything. It's just the world of Flash Gordon in you know, the world of Ming actually, and it was just really cool. Mongo, it was just great. Yeah. And Gary Carpenter says, "I have a Flash Gordon on DVD." Yes. And like Hall says, "The claw was like a cross between Big Bird and Animal." I can't wait to see it. Oh, and Jack is here. Hi, Jack. How are you? Says hello from Texas sequels. Eh? How about the Alamo? Oh, I never saw that one. And Moonbeam is here as well. Hello, Moonbeam says, I like the day the Earth stood still 1951. I still need to see the 2008. Yeah, I mean, and prepare yourself. It's not going to be as great. And they missed the point. But I did like Gort in that movie. The design, I did like the design. Um, I really did. And Outcast Creative says actually might have been younger now that I think about it. and Moonbeam says, Flash, oh, savior of the universe. Yes, great music by Queen. And William Blake Collins says we could have used a sequel when worlds collide. Oh, yes! There was already a novel called After Worlds Collide. Oh, oh my gosh, I would love that. This still could do something like this. Um, and let's keep going. I'm gonna skip over a couple of these and see. Jack says Time Bandits would have been great if the original cast could have all uh, been kept and it came out relatively quickly. Yeah. And let's see. And oh, Amy Jo says, I can't wait to see Inside Out too. I heard it's really good. I heard it's really good. Um, there are a couple people that are like, no, it's not that great, but on the most part, I hear that it's actually it's good. And William Blake Collins says we could rethink Buck Rogers in all kinds of ways. Yes, we could. I would have loved a steampunk Buck Rogers, roughly the same feel that the giant mechanical spider in of the mechanical giant spider in can't even say this the Wild West was going for. Yes, I see exactly what you're talking about, like sort of a Western steampunk feel to it. That sounds like it would be groovy. It would be groovy. And let's see. Uh, ooh, Jack says Outland 2. It's um, Sean Connery is back and is still the law on the moons of Jupiter. I like that. I like that. And there could be so many different storylines of corruption and that go on for his character. But that would be awesome. I love that idea. Just like an Outland. I wouldn't even mind an Outland series. I mean, you could go on, and that was. Also, it does have the feel of like a Blade Runner adjacent type story as well. I feel like Silent Running, uh, Aliens, Blade Runner, Outland. They all kind of, like, are part of the same world. You can have endless stories, uh, you know, kind of related to, all of those franchise. Um And let's see, Lance says, "Hey, Flash Gordon was set up for a sequel. It was actually Ming that was going to come back. He was going to be brought back from the dead. They had a vague outline from a second movie involving Mars." Okay, yeah. Well, I heard a different story, which was good. Colitis was going to be the one that do it, but that sounds really cool too. I would see that. um. I would definitely see that. Absolutely. Um, and, let's see. And, Dan Candy says, "I unapologetically love Flash Gordon." Yes, me too. Me too. I do love that movie. I do, and I think I've done everything on the channel for Flash Gordon, including, like, I did the a review for it, and I also did a watch party, but I wouldn't mind, like, just having a sit down and just talk for hours about Flash Gordon. We should do that one day, like, just a casual chit chat about, just our love for Flash Gordon. And Gary Carpenter says the Dark Crystal does not need a sequel. It's just great as it is. Yes, yes, it is. As it is great as it is. Unfortunately, it's on my list. It is on my list. And I'll tell you why when I get there because yeah, I'll explain why once I get there. But Moonbeam says, "I like how Gort looks in the 2008 poster." Yeah, he's really cool. He's really cool. Um, I think they made some mistakes with him in the movie, but I, uh, just some choices that they decide things that they wanted him to do was like a little bit over the top, and some things that the army like being like completely unrealistic. I think at this point, though. Um, the earlier version, 1951, I believe, much better, much better. Um, and William Blake Hall says, "I plan to catch Inside Out 2 tomorrow." Oh, I hope you have a good time. Yes, I hope you have a good time. I hope the movies are back, guys. I really do. I hope the movie experience is back and people start to enjoy themselves at the theater. And Simply Steve 68 says the reason Flash Gordon needed a sequel was to find out who recovered Ming's ring at the end. Yes, that would be really a lot of fun to know. Like, and they had a question mark. They had that weird music, and it was like, damn. And I just loved it. Loved it. And Gary says the incredible Mr. Limpet Donuts is great, just like it is a sequel, maybe. Oh, I'm not sure what that is. Incredible Mr. Limpet. I'll have to add that to my list. Um, and Jack says Flash 2.0. Really, really, really. And William Whitecall says, "I like the idea of Outland as a franchise, law enforcement throughout the solar system." Oh, yeah, I do. I do think that's really cool. And Dan Candy says, "I know it's not sci-fi, but Master and Commander really, really deserved a sequel." I never saw the original, Master and Commander, so I would love to experience that. And Moonbeam says, "The Bride, starring David Rappaport, was a good film." Oh, what year was that? Would love to know about that. Dan Candy says, "True that. Lots of Jack Aubrey adventure novels out there." Oh, I must be missing something. And William Blake Hall says, "I would not mind returning to the planet Thra in Dark Crystal. What a world." Yes, yes. Because when we get there, And when we get there, it's gonna be fantastic. Yeah, so one thing Flash Gordon, just to, continue on with Flash Gordon really quickly. Flash Gordon had so many adventures in the iteration that, came earlier, in the 30s, 40s, and they were really, really cool adventures, and so I would just wanna see them kind of play out, and they don't have to be exact to the old movies and the, old serial, that it came from, but I would just love more adventures with Flash Gordon. And I know they did, a Buck Rogers movie, but that might be great for a reboot now. Great, like, serious, or if they would make it, funny. But I think I always like it when they combine both serious and comedic things together. There's a fine line of comedy and seriousness. So in many ways, you've got to treat all of the things with a level of seriousness, but then also there has to be a little bit of lighthearted um, eh, language that is used a little bit, just a little, not overkill, where it takes you out of any moments that could be really serious. So. And, Jack says, "If I had a time machine, I would go back in time and stop any sequel for Highlander." Yeah, they just, they lost the plot, right? They did lose the plot. They lost the plot. And Monzo Gilbert says, "Retro Nergo, greetings, beautiful mother Retro." Aw, thank you. You're so kind. Greetings to you as well. And, and my couple says, "There should have only been one." Oh, man. And Fonzo says, "Flash, you'll save every one of us." That's right. And Gary says, "I would have loved to seen a live action movie of Space Ghost." Yes! And the Herculoids. Right? My Tour and Shazam. Oh, that sounds really cool. See, well, hopefully, maybe one day we'll get those things. Um, and Simply Steve 68 says, "I think Will Smith would have killed it as Shazam instead of the blue genie of Aladdin." Probably. And the black hole, so we can find out what the heck happened. Oh, Jack, that's such a good one. I was about to put the black hole on my list, and I was like, well, it would be great to know what happened after they got. Did they see like a doppelganger of our world, or was it a completely different universe? What happened to those guys? And so it just would have been fantastic to know what happened. Um, the black hole too, and they're trying to get back home, and they got to go through the black hole to get back home, and oh man, that would have been great. William Blake calls this Jag. "I always figured that the good guys were conveniently returned to Earth." That's where I thought that they were returned. They went back to Earth, but is Earth their Earth, or is it a different Earth? Right? Is it the same Earth? Or is it the planet of the apes? Oh man, Gary Carpenter says Will Smith didn't make a great genie. It should have been CGI. Oh, I didn't mind him in the role. And it was just the whole movie was just. I will just say, Aladdin live action wasn't bad, but it was unnecessary. So yeah. Uh, but yeah, he wasn't terrible. I didn't think he was terrible, but the CGI stuff was a little um uh uh uncanny valley. Uncanny valley. Now guys creative says right, got my all day rave tomorrow, so time to land for Lancy to hit the Z's later's chat, liking Moon Bear, um look retro, also UFO moon base. Yes. Moonraker, sorry, Moonraker. Um, Moonraker is really nice. I like that one. Let's see. Emma Bloom says, Incredible Mr. Limpet, 1964 as a live action animated cross, Don Knotts as a fish, The Bride, 1985 Sting plays the Frankenstein. And Jack says they didn't lose the plot in Highlander. It went off the rails and there were no rails. Oh man, oh man, oh man. And Gary Carpenter says the Forbidden Planet is great. I don't think a sequel would be good. Um, and yeah, and I thought about it for a second because I was looking at it and I was like, okay, Forbidden Planet, would that make a good sequel? And and I would love to see that world or that universe, but a different story in that same universe. So as an unofficial sequel, but called something totally different, and have them go through a completely different adventure somewhere in the cosmos. And I would love to get sort of an idea of what their society was like, what the human society was like for these guys. So that's the fascinating part was like how are these guys surviving? How are they living? Um, and I wouldn't even mind to follow the female characters like acclimation into this new world. Like that's interesting. Like, well, what would her life be like now that she's given everything up to escape her father? But what of this new world? Does she fit in there at all? And, we're like, "Huh, well, technically, the Planet of the Apes is still Earth." Yes, it is. But in this other, dimension, possibly through the black hole, maybe they went through time, and or maybe they went, as far, far into the future, or maybe they went into an alternate universe of, and Earth is no longer what they think it is. And Mar is here. Mar Hawkman, really great to see you. Says Flash Gordon has several theories, though. Uh, has several series, though. Yes, he does from the old days of the serials, and there's tons of there's comic books as well. There's lots of material to get stories from. So I would love to see those stories played out in live action, but done in a way that's actually interesting. There was a TV series that they did come up with in the early aughts, and to be very honest with you, it was very, very boring looking, and like they took all of these magical weirdness out this of Mongo. It was just like another version of Earth, really. Didn't really have that much that was different. There were no cool aliens and just interesting sights and clothing pieces. It was just regular people. That was kind of boring. And it was made to be sort of like a commentary on a fascist world. And, Gary Carpenter says, I think the remake of Beauty and the Beast was terrible. Oh, I didn't even bother. Yeah, no, that's not for me. Yeah, look, I'm like this. I immediately suss up a thing, and I was like, I'm not even gonna waste my money, uh, or time watching that, 'cause it they as soon as I saw the promos for Beauty and the Beast, I was like, yeah, no." And, Moonbeam says, "Aladdin premiered on my 43rd birthday." And, Laura Huckman says, "Not as direct sequels to the movie, though." Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, gotcha, we understood. Yeah, I think we knew what you were saying there. Um, and, 'cause they really had a lot of material uh, to use, to make a sequel, to make a whole franchise, but they just stopped. And I think that's because they made so many mistakes on the movie, one being not allowing, um, the main actor to have his own voice be used for this movie, so and that was gonna cost them a lot of money. The next one I have on my list is Big Trouble in Little China, which they've talked about rebooting, but, not a reboot. I mean, I would love to see, these characters and how they're doing. Let's see. Gary Carpenter says Flash Gordon had a cartoon series years after there was a live action series. Yeah, it was in there was one in 1979, I believe, or 1978, 1979. I forgot exactly what year it was, but it was so awesome because you can see if you watch that cartoon series, which was supposed to be a movie. They were just doing a movie, and then they decided to make a full series of it. When that came out, my mind was blown. I was like, "Phew." Years later, when they made um, Masters of the Universe, the cartoon, they used the same drawing boards for those characters, basically, and they just used it um, for Masters of the Universe, which was really cool because I was like, "Oh, I noticed, I see the similarities," and that was, Hanna-Barbera doing some awesome work there in the '70s and '80s. Botanical Brothers says the prequel to Forbidden Planet would be great. Ooh, yes, yes, I approve, a prequel. Um Yeah, let's see. Oh, Jack says Casablanca, but call it Tangiers. Rick and the crew deal with Nazis. That sounds interesting. I wouldn't mind seeing that. And yes, the short-lived TV show I remember was terrible. Um, and yes, it wasn't good. Oh, Amy Jo, you saw the Flash Gordon cartoon series? It was so good. Yeah, they should have it on, YouTube somewhere 'cause it's definitely, um, just one of those things, somewhere. Moonbeam says Max von Sydow, who plays Ming, was Jesus in The Greatest Story Ever Told, 1965, and was my dad's favorite story about Jesus. Oh, that is so sweet. Thank you for sharing that, Moonbeam. Um And William Blake Hall says, I always wondered how Rick became such a great bistro runner. His cafe was brilliantly put together, right? And Movie says, Big Trouble in Little China. You can feel the ground rumble. Jack says, Big Trouble in Little China would be great, but you have to get the main cast back. Yes, and look, James Hong is still hanging in there. Come on, guys, we got a little bit of time left. We can still bring him back as Will Van. Oh, man. And, yeah, see, that's the biggest mistake most sequels make is that they don't bring back the original, cast, yeah. Or at least if you, like, do the honors and say, "Hey, look, the character passed on," or something, just to don't just replace them with another actor. But if you wanted to do Next Generation, you could do Next Generation, but you've got to include the original cast to show that you know, this is still the same continuation of the story. Um, and Botanical Brothers says that cartoon was heavily rotoscoped. I loved it. Yes, me too. I loved rotoscoped um, cartoons because it just was like there was a different movement of the way characters move. They move like real people, but sometimes the flow of it didn't sometimes go that well for some of them. I wouldn't say all of them, but for some of them. But for that cartoon, I loved it. And there is a special role there's a role that Flash Gordon does that also in the, Masters of the Universe, they have He-Man and Skeletor use that very same role. So that was an actor doing a role, and they had it rotoscoped, and they used it, for those, particular shows. It was great. I do love that. Um, Gary Carpenter says, "I'd love to have a lounge or a club like that in Casablanca," right? It's so cool. It was very cool, very cool. And Rain says, "A great Kurt Russell film after his Disney years." Yes, it was wonderful. Um, and William Blake Hall says, "I love James Hong as Cassandra's dad in Wayne's World." Oh, cool. Um, And yes, and Kurt Russell is still doing, yeah, he's still kicking it, as you say, botanical brother. And Charles says, Big Trouble in Little China was a fantastic action movie. Love the alley fight scene, yes. And I'd rather that than a reboot. They were talking about reboots for years, and I'm like, why? There's no story in a reboot. You, you that means you didn't understand the legacy and the beauty of the first movie, which was, had a lot to do with history and family. My goodness. And Gary Carminer says Sky High was a great movie for Russell and Linda Carter. I love that, and actually, I was going to add that to the list because I really would love to have seen many movies of that particular movie, Sky High. Love it. It's one of my favorite, movies, and, more also he brings up, Big Trouble in Little China was such a wide has such a, wide setting for that world. You just have, different people in the setting. Yeah, I mean, I think so, and then sort of like you have to hand off the baton in a very classy way, and, yeah, I definitely think that they shouldn't have waited so long, and they should have had a sequel, like, back in the '90s. Back in the '90s. We should be on, Big Trouble in Little China 4 by now. And that's part of the problem with Ghostbusters is that they waited too long for the 3rd installment that it just, um I think they lost a lot of momentum by then, and even though the people who love Ghostbusters love, love the first movie, and some people are like the second movie. I love the second movie so much, but and that was because I just love Ghostbusters. So it's like, give me anything with Ghostbusters in it, and I would literally be there. But also, um, Ghostbusters really should have been done much earlier than waiting until they just did a reboot and then just sort of the worst thing that they could have done for the franchise. I didn't hate that movie that much, but it just wasn't right for the franchise. And Moonbeam says when they made age generated Kurt for Guardians of the Galaxy too. They went for when he was in Big Trouble in Little China. And speaking of John Carpenter movies, Jack says, how about Prince of Darkness, finding out what happens when the female lead who went to hell returns to rule the world? Oh, I did not see Prince of Darkness. So it looks like that's one I'm gonna have to add to my list. Wow. Thanks, Jack. And Tango says, what that's what I dig about heavy metal. The movie, my girl Tarna is rotoscoped. Yes, she is. I love her. Oh, look, and Lance Chafin is here. Um, let's see if I've got. Lance says Kurt was good in Overboard. Yes, he was. That was a good movie. And Moonbeam says, I thought they teased a sequel for Big Trouble in Little China with the monster in the back of his truck, and they did, and they never did, which is really sad. And Jack says heavy metal 2, 3, 4, 5. I really wish they did do more with heavy metal. But, they did do a sequel to heavy metal. It's, Heavy Metal 2000. I hope that you guys I did a review on that one. I hope you guys saw that one. Um, it is, definitely not a direct sequel. It's more like a spiritual sequel, but, I would love an actual sequel, and it to be honestly, like, purely, like, what happens to Arna, to Arna, because she was fantastic. I wanted to know more about, well, actually, the last Terrakian, which is not necessarily Arna. Arna died, but the little girl became the next Terrakian, and so I wanted to know what happened to her. What was her story? And so, yeah, that is sort of, uh, what I think there, and, um, yes, Moonbeam is saying what I just said, um, and, yes, saying hello, hello, Lance, hope you're doing well, and, Mar says that there was a live action series called Metal Hurlant Chronicles, which, is just the French name for heavy metal, yes, and, let's see, and, Moonbeam says, "I saw Heavy Metal 2000, it wasn't as great as the 1981." I think we can all say that. I mean, I'll say that too, but I think also, it was still very good. I don't think it should have been called, heavy metal. I think it should have been called, Fact 2, which is really the name of um, the series it's a part of. Which is it's its own IP actually. Then The Last Starfighter, guys, wouldn't you like to see what happened to, the characters in The Last Starfighter? Just one of those things where I'm like, it just felt like it was a one-off story, and wow, it could have been really cool if there was more to the story. Ah. Yes, 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 and, let's see, the next one is Hancock. I don't know if you guys know of a movie called Hancock, but it's one of my favorite, low key, one of my favorite superhero movies because it doesn't play as a superhero movie at all. And it's kind of interesting because you you kind of unpeel the onion and find out more and more and more about this Hancock character, and there were so many wonderful, surprises in the story, and I was like, "Oh, I wanna know more about this." And so, yeah, that was it was great. And, looks like people are talking about this last Starfighter, and Lance says, "I love The Last Starfighter." Me too. And Joseph McKay is here. Hello, Joseph. Says, "We need more Starfighter." Yes! I wanna see what happens when they build their entire Starfighter, fleet, and how many more of, the bad guys are out there. And I wanna know more. I want more. I want more. And Mars says The Last Starfighter has the problem of not actually having a well-developed world. There's a handful of good guys and bad guys, and the movie ends with most of them dead. True, but at the very end, they are rebuilding on Rylos, and you see this huge crowd, which they're really, I think they did a little bit of um, fuss, what are they, like a little screen magic, if you will, to pretend there's a lot of people there, but there's supposed to be a huge crowd of people, and they're recruiting new starfighters. They're gonna rebuild, and there's still the armadas out there. And so I thought I had always wanted more from that movie because I had always imagined more My little crazy sci-fi brain was like, "I want more of this." So, there were more hints of things in the dialogue of the bad guys, that they had stuff going on in their because there's an emperor that we didn't even get a chance to see in the story, and I wanna know more about this and how many worlds they've conquered and and what that means in the universe. Um, so that there's all that, and then, oh, Joseph Gay, you're so kind and gifted 10 Retro Nerd Girl memberships. Guys, congratulations to all of you who won memberships. Let's see if I can get, oh goodness, William Blake Hall, you got a membership. Let's see. Zacharot 15 got one. Mama Bear Art Doll. DJ Play Nice also got one. Let's see who else. CJ was gifted a membership. Kingdom of Nerds. Um, Samuel S got one. Andrew Time Lord got one. Blessed got one. And Caroline Abbott got one. Wow, so awesome. Congrats to everybody. Gifted memberships last for about a month of 30 days of memberships. And so when they're up, if you can like to continue to be a member, you are welcome to do so on your own. You would have to actually sign up for it. But and when you do, it will be helping out the channel quite a bit. It allows me to do more content like this. Every Monday, I try to put out a video for all the members. So that is really cool. Welcome to the club. And we get this. Oh, before I go, thank you again, Joseph Begay. And here's my special thank you to you. That song always makes me want to dance. All right. And Gary Carpenter says the only cartoon movies I like are Yellow Submarine, Gulliver's Travels, The Secret Sword, He-Man, and She-Ra. And Botanical Brother says, "Welcome to Rivals, my boy." Ah, yes, love that. Uh, uh, let's see. And Jack says, Buckaroo Banzai. Yes, it's on the list. It's coming up. Oh, Darth Plato is here. Thank you. This is one I don't think I'm not sure if it's on the list. It may be on the list. It may be on the list. But yes, this is a great one. I always wanted to see more inner space. I thought the first one was hilarious, and I would love for them to get even wilder and insane with sort of a part two. And yes, okay, Moonbeam. Absolutely. At the end, you see the little brother. He's at the arcade game and he's playing it and he sees the light and he's like, "Oh, wow," It was like, I know that he was gonna grow up to become a starfighter. That little boy he's gonna grow up to be a starfighter. So it was something that I really wanted um to see. And I hope that they do something with that. And there was some talk about the Last Starfighter actually getting a sequel, but you never know with Hollywood. They get a whole bunch of stuff together, then some people with the rights, they don't want the movie to be made, or it's just a lot of stuff, or they can't get the money together. It's mm, just wild. And, Darth Plato says, "Do 1984." I wouldn't mind going. I wouldn't mind it either. I wouldn't mind it either. And, they might be able to do something, to go back and retell this, not retell the story, but to tell the next phase, which is what, Messiah, and, they just do a little de-aging with, Kyle MacLachlan, or just the style of that particular movie was so powerful. They did a what do you call it? A, video game, and in the video game, they like a role-playing video game, I think it was. And that video game had like cut scenes where you could see they used a lot of the same materials, they used a lot of same looks as the movie. So I wish they had done that. You're so right. I wish they did. And uh, William Blake Hall brings up Close Encounters too, and that is on my list. Controversy ensues when the aliens return to offer to take millions of humans into space, not just a few. Oh, cool. Um, and and Lance says Joseph Warren. Well, unfortunately, it's not done like that. It's YouTube picks the people who are on the channel the most, and so that's YouTube's pick. It has nothing to do with um Joseph's choice, but I believe that Joseph, within the goodness of his heart and being very sweet and kind, did something, and uh, definitely deserves a round of applause and a big thank you for doing that. So, um, let's see. Botanical Brother says a Netflix Starfighter miniseries would be good. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind if it went into the story a lot, um, uh, a lot deeper, a lot more. Give us more of the story that they just breezed on in the movie, and um, and Gary, yes, you're right. Close Encounters doesn't need a sequel, but we're just imagining for nerdy fun. For nerdy fun, we don't want Hollywood to actually take it to listen. But it there was more to to imagine more of the story, to imagine more of what would happen, because they did take a few people that wanted to go, but what if it now there's like millions of people that are going on? Oh, well, that would be very concerning. Like, what are they doing with the people? And are they truly friendly aliens? And Charles says Hancock was original superhero movies. Oh, really? I did not know that. Um, let's see. And let's see. And Darth Vader says, "Three Amigos." Oh, they didn't have a I thought that they had a, I thought that they had a Oh, Gary, you didn't like Hancock? Oh, I loved it. And Darth Vader says, "Enemy Mine." Yes, that's another one. I may have added it to the list. It was really great. Um And Moonbeam says Lewis beats his brother's score and gets recruited by Centauri. That would be cool. That would be cool. Moonbeam says, "Congrats to new members." Yes, congratulations, everybody. And let's see. And Charles says that The Last Starfighter was one of my favorite movies. I can remember renting that movie on VHS. Yeah, it was so good. It was so good. Um, and let's see. And thank you so much, Joseph, for mentioning that it's only 30 days and that if you want, you got to check your status to see if you um, uh, have got a membership. And Jack's stripes too. Sergeant Elka and the troops invade Monte Carlo by mistake and end up robbing a casino. And let's see. I'm just gonna keep going really quick. You guys have some good ones. That put is Blazing Saddle, Silver Streak, The Wolfman's Heart, 79 says Clue, and I was gonna put Clue on my list too because it would just be cool to see somebody do something like this again. I heard that they were rebooting it, which I'm like, you know, do we really need to reboot it? But yeah, uh, the Red October, uh, the Wolfman's Heart, 79 says Red Dawn. Wow. And Gary Carpenter says there was a sequel to Blue Lagoon, Return to the Blue Lagoon. Yes, I remember that movie. And I believe yeah. That I do remember that movie. Let me just see one thing about it. Yes, Mila Jovovich is in this. Jovovich is in this. Yes, she was ridiculously young. She must have been like 14 or 15. Oh my God. Oh, it says right here, how old was Mila? She was 15. Oh my God. She was so young. That's one of those things you had to look up. um, and oh yes, Dark City. I believe it's on the list. And Keith E says, "Okay, my my cable's not fixed just for a couple of seconds. We'll see it on the replay. Have a good night." Okay, I'm so sorry that didn't work out for you, but we'll see. Yeah, and we'll see you later. We'll see you again real soon. And the Wizard of Oz, and so I'm going to continue with the list because it looks like you guys are going ahead of me. So let me get started with the rest. Um, I'm just gonna go down quite a bit. And oh wow, thank you, V, so much. You gifted 5 Retro Nerd Girl memberships. That's really sweet of you. Let's just see who the members are. Um, okay, the new members are Palisades Parketeer, Robert Anderson, Forgotten Lectures, Real Dental Gaming Clips, and Hedge Rider. Oh my goodness! Congrats to you guys. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's see if I can get you a really sweet thank you. Thank you so much, V. Okay, so great, so great. And Joseph says, "Way to go, V." Yes, thank you so much, V. Really, really appreciate that. And, let's see. And Lance says, "Bye, guys." All right, you have a nice evening, Lance. I hope everything, you have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy yourself. And, um, let's keep going. And, oh, thank you so much. You noticed Spectacular Moment says, "I love your flight suit." Thank you so much. All right, so let's get to the next one. Hancock, you guys have have said that you didn't some of you didn't enjoy it, but I love that movie so much. V for Vendetta is my next one. It It is definitely one of my favorite movies, and even though it doesn't tease an ending, I do wanna know what happens in this world as far as changing into sort of, this new liberated society. So that's one. Oh, Shade Viking is here, great to see you. So good to see everybody who's here. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Let's see. And Darth Plato mentions Passenger 57. Ooh, interesting, yeah. And Joseph Gay says, I would like to see at least one sequel in the spirit of Maverick 1994, although it would require a recast of all characters. Yeah, and look, even if they called it something else, right? With the same spirit. Um, That's what they used to do in the old days. They would just rename something, and then that would separate it from the original work, and I thought it would be it's kind of a cool thing because you're still recycling the same idea, but you're using it for a new story with a new cast member, so really cool. Really cool. And DJ Play Nice is rolling out. Great to see you. I hope you have enjoy a great evening and so on and so forth. Says all y'all be safe, have fun, and take care of your crew and rock. Yes, oh my goodness, definitely take care of your crew is a good statement after um, you know hearing about our friend who passed this week. It's just really tell everybody that you know that you love them and that you care about them, um, because it's so important. You don't know how much time you have left with anyone. So hope you have a wonderful weekend. And Darth Plato says Howard the Duck, which I like, I like that. And William Lake Hall, I love your mind. Passenger 58. Yes! Oh, man. I wanted more of Howard the Duck, to be very serious with you, and I don't know, like, I know that people hated that movie. They hated that movie. I loved it. I thought it was silly and ridiculous, and, I laughed from the beginning to end. It was hilarious to me, and it was just so sad that it got, you know, it got panned. And, Gary says, "Gentlemen Prefer Blondes" had a sequel. Gentlemen Prefer Brunettes. I didn't know that, and I love Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. I will actually sing along to all of the songs to it, and, it's just great. Um, and surprising because 'cause I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know that I even knew those songs." But I know all of them, like, as soon as the song starts playing, I like, all of a sudden, I know all the words. I'm like Oh, man. Oh, and Darth Vader says Maximum Overdrive. Oh my god! That movie is insane, and, yeah, I would for laughs yes. I think we need to laugh a little bit more and enjoy ourselves a little bit more with some silly movies sometimes. And, Dan Candy, oh my goodness. So thank you so very much for this lovely gift. Says Retro, my dog has been staring at you for the last 5 minutes. I think he's in love. Oh, mwah, 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 mwah. That is so sweet. Oh my goodness. He sounds adorable. What's his name? He sounds amazing. I am gonna give you a very nice thank you. Here we go. Oh, so sweet. Thank you. And, Gary says, "At least Snakes on a Plane was terrible. I don't like snakes." Yes, I tried to watch that movie, and the first snake was like, "Nope, I'm out." I was like, "I'm out." No, not doing it. And so, yeah, that was, whew, pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Uh, and, Amy just says, "I can't wait to see your anniversary stream, Legendary Girl." I can't wait for it. It's not gonna be, like, a big deal. I'm not gonna I know, like, some people have, like, 20 or 30 people, like, in the streams. I'm not gonna do any of that. I believe Lance will join me because he was here with me last year, so, maybe I'll have Lance join, and, if he's available, and maybe some, I think I really wanna concentrate on actually, like, showcasing some people, and so I'm maybe, showcasing some people who have been working with the channel and who are very kind to me. So, I may be doing a lot of that and sharing some behind the scenes stuff. Definitely, sharing some doll stuff, some crafting stuff that I'm working on for my project and things like that. So a lot of behind the scenes stuff maybe for you, sharing with you guys. And Darth Plato says, "Oh, Yella." Uh, I've never seen that. Uh, and it says Turner and Hooch. Oh, cool. Yeah. And William Blake also says, "Particular to nothing, there's an old movie pitch of mine. Here it goes." Oh boy. And Darth Plato says, "Bram Stoker's Dracula." Oh, yes. I wouldn't have minded like what happens after the whole um thing with yeah, I would love to know. I would love to know. And oh, Dan Candy, his name is Ringo. Oh, cute. Oh, Ringo, hi. Mwah. Oh my goodness. What a sweetie. And yes, why not? And it was, you know what, Joseph, Maximum Overdrive was so silly and so much fun. And like another like goofy, goofy thing. I wouldn't even mind it as a musical. Just just let's go crazy for on this silly idea. And Darth Plato is mentioning Wildcats. Oh yeah, yeah, with Goldie Hawn, I wouldn't mind. And there were so many people in that one. I believe Wesley Snipes played a character in that one. It was really cool. Um, and William White Call says, back when Exxon was Esso, they exploited his image, uh, his image to sell gasoline, and he made them billions of dollars. Now his species is dying, and he's back with a message: "You owe me, Tank Tiger." Interesting. So there's a tiger that they needed. Very interesting. Just for funsies, I like it. Darth Vader says Falling Down. Oh, I never saw that movie. Um, yeah. And let's keep going. Oh, wow, Joseph Begay. That is so nice. You're so kind. You were trying to help Lance get a well, let's see who got it then. Let's see. This is so wild. Thank you so much. You're so kind. Um, um, Lance might have a an account like mine. Like no matter how long I'm like hang out at a person's, I never will get a gifted membership. And it has to do with how old your account is, or there's something about the account that it will not allow you to receive memberships. And this has happened to not just myself, but also I think Unicorn Rampant Studio as well, and a couple other people just can't get memberships no matter what. It has to do with the account, and I don't know what the answer is. I think you may have to either go in and say something special in your account, or I don't know exactly what it is, but it's just one of those things. Let's see if I can find who. All right, so all right, so Matthew Dunham, Stuart Correll, Japanese Demon Lord, uh, Agent J, 1981, Mike Hale, Real Operative X, Dystopian Bambi. God, so many cool names. And oh, Tracy's Fractured History and more. Wow, cool. I haven't seen Tracy in a while. Bone for Glitch You. Uh, all right, so those are the winners, or the lucky people who got gifts. Thank you so much, Joseph Begay, for trying to do that for Lance, and at the same time gifting another 10 memberships to some people who will be in the club, as I like to say, of members. Okay, let's see. And also to remind any of you guys that it will be 30 days of memberships. And Darth Vader was like, "You will never gift me a free membership." Yes, and like some accounts just won't. And I think you have to either go into your account and do something special. I've tried to do that, and it does not work for me. So I've got to buy my own memberships for everything. But some of the memberships aren't that expensive. So let's do that. And I do want to say a special extra thank you to Joseph Begay. Oh, I love that song. And Amy Jo says, "Welcome aboard to everyone." Thank you, Amy, for being so gracious to the new members. And Joseph Begay says, "I think YouTube has spoken." Yeah, I'm so sorry. Um, he may have an account just like mine where it just will not allow you to do it. And so, yeah. The Darth Plato, you were just banging out the Monster Squad. Yes, that's on my list, I think. And Chud, which I've never seen. Um, and let's see. Charles says, "I have to see Falling Down." Okay. What year is that? What year is that? Oh, man. And, G BJG is here. "Hello, how are you?" Says, "Good evening, RNG. So good to see you." And, Darth Vader says, "Red Sonja." Oh, I wouldn't have mind another movie with Red Sonja. Yes, and yeah, just in general, I love that little, movie. It's not the best movie ever, but it's a cute movie. And, oh, Darth Vader, Blues Brother. They did make a sequel, didn't they? Blues Brothers 2000? Um, I believe so, I believe they did, but it would have been nice to have a Blues Brothers, mm, a second Blues Brothers when, uh with Belushi. That would have been really great. Oh, okay, so, um oh, 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 um, Joseph Gay says, "Always love to see a further adventures for Big Trouble." Me too, yeah, I just wanted to know more. Also, anything cultural that they could have thrown in there that would have been really cool. Like actual cultural stuff, that would have been really nice. And BGD says, "Chud is one of those movies you simply cannot unsee." Oh, no. Oh, boy. And, William Blake Hall says, "Falling Down" is 1993, starring Michael Douglas and Robert Duvall. Oh, okay. And, Charles, says, "I have to step away. Love you all." Oh, well, it was so great for you to hang out with us for a bit here, and, loved everything you had to say. You have a good weekend. Hope to see you in one of these 2, streams that we're having, this weekend. So, hope we'll see you at some point during the weekend. And, oh, yes, Amy, there was an Elvira, Mistress of the Dark movie, and, I believe what sh did she do 2 movies? Oh, okay, so William says there was a sequel. Okay, yes, alright. And I have to see the sequel. I did see the first one, which I loved, loved, loved. William says the first people gathered around their radios, then they gather around their TVs, and now it's the computer. Oh, that's right, Chud. It's something the computers go insane. Yes, Maddie Sadie. Yes, it's so heartbreaking. Great to see you. I at the beginning of this video, I did talk about our friend, um, Clobberin' Times, and said some things about him, and I even had a little playlist that um, I had put together of, just videos of people remembering him. I wonder if I still have it in my thing. Oh, yes, here it is. Um, um, yes, I am going to miss him so much. Okay, really. Um, yes, and the first video is, of course, the big video that I missed. I missed the video where everyone had gotten together to talk about him and say their goodbyes. Um, but I managed to catch it yesterday. A friend of mine, the Outcast Creative, sent me a quick tweet and said, "Oh, did you hear?" And I was like, "What?" So it really took me by surprise. So um, if anyone wants to just remember, really nice guy, Clobberin' Times. There's a link for catching up with just not only just him, but also one of my last streams with him is also in there where um, and we spent we spent, New Year's Eve together really, because right after my huge, event on my channel, I went over there to see what they were doing, and, we hung out for another couple hours, and then after that was done, we hung out some more backstage, so, what a lovely guy, what a lovely guy, knew anything you wanted to know about comics and, um, loved Star Trek and, was going through Blake 7 and UFO TV shows, so he was just a wonderful, wonderful person. Um, and, yes, Maddie says, "Awesome, I'll check it out." Yes, and the video had over 5,000 views. So many people loved him. Oh, yes, he was a great guy. So anyone who's watching now, just if you do have a chance to head over there, but also you might want to subscribe to his channel to give him some support, help out his family. But I believe that Raquel, who was one of the co-hosts of the show, is going to try to continue that along with Mark. Um, C with a D, who, hung out on this channel, for Christmas. He went over our favorite Christmas songs together, so I hope that you guys remember that and, that you, can head over there, and, yes. Oh, thank you so much, Maddie. It's, it was mutual. He was just wonderful, always so kind and supportive and, just a great dude. Just a great dude in general. So, oh, the tears it gets to me. Gonna miss him so much. But one thing I love about YouTube is that um, this is giving us a chance to like remember the people um, because this will always be here. Like hopefully it'll say longer than 20 years. So this will be here for us to kind of like reflect back on him and his life. We last year at about I would say in about August of last year, I lost a friend, a really good friend, Mikey Sutton, and again, um, we've got tons and tons of material to go through of hearing his points of view and just remembering the good times we had on different streams. And so, yeah, that's the one thing I would say about these um, historical documents that we're kind of creating on YouTube is that you can always come back to these videos and the good times we had together. Um, and Maddie says, "I'm going to watch the video you made." Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's it's in this video itself, but live stream, but it's earlier than I'm taught. Like at the very beginning, I start talking about him. So um, it's on this same video, but that link I gave is just a playlist of all the videos I could find on the internet of people talking about him and telling them of who he was. And I think I attached the New Year's Eve uh, video that we did together. And Woo! Sorry about that, guys. I did, life is lifing, is the latest thing that I'm just like, yeah. Moonbeam says, maybe Chud was zombies. I'll check. It looks like aliens could be computers. Um, and it had a sequel, Chud 2, Bud the Chud in 1989. I had no idea about any of this. Had no idea of this. And Baby Joe says, I'm sorry about your friend Retro Nerd. I am here for you always. Thank you so much, Amy Joe. Thank you. It really is a lot. And Darth Player says, I didn't know about clubbing as it's heartbreaking. Um, and yeah, I just hope everybody's okay. I hope Raquel's okay, and I hope Mark is okay, and most likely check on him this Sunday after my show to see how he's doing. And, let's see what else. And, oh, Joseph mentions The Thing. Oh, I never thought of The Thing too. That would be an interesting because it leaves off on sort of like a weird kind of, moment. That would be interesting. That would be interesting, The Thing too. Yes. And oh yes, Maddie says, Daddy says, Retro, please drop by Mark DUC's channel sometime. We miss you. I will this Sunday. If he's doing it this Sunday, I will. And I can understand if he doesn't do it this Sunday because um, of just, it being a lot. But I'll definitely stop by either this Sunday or next Sunday, whichever one is next. So I'll definitely be there. And I feel bad for not appearing more often. But I don't want anybody to get sick of me. I just, I'm really, um, um, I'm a little, even though I'm on the internet, I'm really actually kind of shy. So, but I will drop by if he's doing it this Sunday. I will definitely be there. But I will, if not, whenever he feels like doing another show. Um, so, uh, just to, it's hard to just move on to the next thing, but just it's really hard. Um, so the next movie I was thinking of doing was Elf. Uh, Elf is one of those movies. It was so great. I loved the first one. I loved it. I know that I wonder if Stunt Brat is still here because I know that Elf is one of her favorite movies, and that if Elf is, it's not that I want Elf to continue as much as I just want to see another movie with this character and just being as innocent and fun as he was. So I just want more from this character, Elf. Oh, and Maddie Zaddy says, I think he is doing a show. Okay, so yes, I will. I will definitely be there. And Amy just says, "Don't cry, Retro Hooligan, I'm here for you." Oh, yes, thank you. You're so sweet. Um, yeah, and it's hard to lose a friend, yes. Yeah. Um, yeah, especially somebody who's really, really sweet and kind, and we need more people like that to stay with us, not go away. So yeah, we're gonna get some tissues here. Uh, and thank you guys. You guys are so sweet and understanding. And BJD says, I would definitely watch a sequel of Snow Crash if only they would make a proper film version of Snow Crash. I don't know I don't know anything about Snow Crash. I've never heard of that. I'll have to write that down. And Moonbeam says, yeah, I did my V for Vendetta review in August. It was the height of COVID. Yeah. Well, I was originally gonna do V for Vendetta, a a review. I had it all written out and everything, and then uh, COVID hit, and I was like, "Ooh, I better not," because there were like riots and all sorts of wild things, and I was like, "No, no, that's okay. We'll just wait. We'll just wait." And yeah, so I just wanted to see more of this character, Buddy the elf, and not so much as I wanted to see like necessarily a sequel, but Edward Scissorhands was kind of one of those movies where uh, again it was like the character was so pure, and I just wanted to see more of the character, not necessarily. sure if there was a story that could be made out of that. And oh, The Faculty. The Faculty is a movie that is so uh, it's underrated. It's really underrated because it's a um, alien invasion movie that uh, you know, I just could imagine so much more of The Faculty. This water planet alien. And so I was looking forward to maybe them doing more with it, but they didn't. I mean, they made Final Destination movies, but The Faculty, they just ended right then. It's like they could have definitely made more. And Darth Vader. So Elf could appear in a Gollum movie. Yeah, they fit the world, right? And Joseph Begay says obvious request for a sequel is World War Z. Oh, okay. So I never saw that, of course, because of it. They're zombies, and you know how I feel about zombies. And then there's Dread, um, 2012. Uh, and I never saw that one because I really was a big fan of the first Dread movie. I know a lot of people hated that movie, but I did love it because it it tickled me, and then the movie had clones, which, you guys know how I feel about clones. I love clones. So it was kind of a weird one, so I never did see it. I heard that it's fantastic, and I might have all intentions to see that movie. I think I own a digital copy of it, but um, back when I was buying digital copies, so yeah, I do have every intention of watching that. Um, Oh, 2003 isn't everyone's go-to film, but I like what you like. Oh, thank you. And BJD says Crash is a seminal cyberpunk Stephenson's 1992 sci-fi bestseller, and in my humble opinion, one of the most important works of fiction in the 20th century, and must read. Ooh, okay. Sci-fi bestseller? Hmm, okay, I'll bite. I'll bite. And Darth Plato says Cowboys and Aliens. Oh, wow. Okay, yes, I haven't seen that yet, but I'll tell you a funny story. I was buying back when I was buying digital stuff, which I don't do anymore. Uh, I came upon this movie, Aliens and Cowboys, and for some reason I was like, "Oh, I really wanna see this movie because I thought it was Cowboys and Aliens. And, yeah, I'm stuck with this B movie called Aliens and Cowboys. I never did see it because 'cause I'm like, "Wait a minute, this isn't the movie that I really wanted," but it was only like $3 or something. It was on sale. Oh, and Sunbet says, "Retro, I just got home. Yes, more Buddy the elf. Yeah, I just want to see him interact in a world and do cool, cute stuff. Uh, and I wouldn't mind if there was more stuff in the Playmation world that they kind of pass through. I would love that. I would love that. That would be great. And oh, and Joseph again, you're so sweet. Says I'll send you a copy of Dread. Already sent you a copy of Belle. Oh, well, I'll have to go and look and see if I'll have to go to the post office. I'll have to make another trip to the post office. And and Summer says, Retro, I went to the post office, just sent you a package of Minnie Mouse Barbie chocolate hugs, LOL. Oh my goodness, that is so sweet. And you know something, Stunt Brett? You sent me some Belgium chocolate back in I don't know if it was like November or December, and I never got a chance to have it. I put it in my fridge and I kind of forgot about it. I know, how do you forget about Belgian chocolate? Well, I'm still been, like, nibbling on it in the last couple of days, and I'm like, this is so good." Then I tried looking for that chocolate, and I can't find it on the internet, so I was like, "This is definitely, like, some amazing stuff." So thank you for the Belgian chocolate, I'm still eating it. Oh, man. And Moving says, "It looks like Snow Crash was a made-for-TV film and has no release date." Okay. And it looks like I need to read the book is what the recommendation is, right? I need to read the book. And thank you, BGD, for letting me know that. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. And and so Red says, yes, that Belgium chocolate was so good. It is. It's so good. It's so creamy. It's not like any other kind of chocolate I've ever had. It's just incredibly good. Um, and I used to eat chocolate more often, but um, I have to be very careful of what I eat, or I can get sick. So that chocolate was is there's something, the purity of it must be okay. My body doesn't reject it, and it is doing the opposite. It's so good. It is so good. And I only you only need like a small bite, and I know like real like big chocolate lovers are saying, "What? You just take a little bite?" I swear, I only take like a corner square, and it's so good. It's so gratifying. Summer says, "You're so welcome, my darling." Wow. Yes, it's so good. I'm still enjoying it. And Gary Carpenter says, they never did release the Batgirl movie. Yeah, I know. I'm really kind of upset about that, and it's not because I love Batgirl so much, but it I don't like the idea of people working on a movie and then there it and it's almost finished and or close to, and it just gets pulled. So I don't like that idea at all. And BGD says, "You're welcome. If you DM me your PO box on YouTube or your Discord, I will happily order you a copy of Snow Crash and send it to you." Oh, that's so sweet. Well, actually, my post office box is in the description to this um, live stream, so it's right there. Um, if you don't see it right away, just keep scrolling down for all the words that I have on there. So um, it's in there. So thank you so much, BJJ. I appreciate that. You guys are super super kind to me. Really appreciate that. And let's see. Krull is the other one that I I know. Now look, it's fine as a one-off movie. It really is. But it teased of a whole galaxy of like that could be interesting, and there's a lot more of these aliens that are out there in the world or in the universe. So I want to know more about that stuff. Um, so yeah, there's a lot that I would like to. I would love like if there was a Krull too, that the pacing be enhanced a lot more. I mean, like, can we get the pacing a little bit quicker? But otherwise, Krull is just one of those movies will always love for it being like sort of like a rock and roll future, sci-fi kind of movie, fantasy. So I love that. Uh, uh, Moonbeam says the faculty is an alien film, if I remember. Yeah, it's Alien Invasion. Wonderful Alien Invasion. I love that movie so much. Um, and Samrat says, Retro, that top rocks. Thank you. So spacey. Yes, like I'm all spaced out today. and And Amy just says, maybe if Candace Cameron Bure could do some live action movies with Jodie Sweetin, like Barbed Wire or something, like a thriller like spy girl movies. That's interesting. That would be nice. I like Candace Cameron Bure, but, um, I know she was doing a lot of Christmas movies, and then she stopped doing them, and I know she started working with a different company, but I want her to do more Christmas movies. I need her to go back to Hallmark or whichever one that she was with to do more Christmas movies. Um, and, yeah, that's so great. Mm, and, let's see, what else we have here? Could Memento. You guys remember Memento. Um, Memento is one of those movies is film taken out of order, and it's just it's confusing, but somehow the confusion makes sense by the time you get to the end. So it's like it's mental math, but it's not the worst. Like there are, I don't know how that movie is able to do what it did, but it was able to get all these pieces that are just like I would say even backwards, and just put them together. And by the end of the movie, you're like, ah, I get it, and you feel like, ah, okay, I like this. I like this. So I wonder that this guy is kind of a sick individual. He has all of these tattoos telling him of a wife and memories he doesn't have, and then he's making these incredible decisions that are permanent decisions. So it's kind of weird. Like I want to know more about what happens to this guy. Is he ever caught? And because he doesn't remember anything, they let him go, or like give me I want more to this insane story. Um and what you know, there it would just be interesting. It would be interesting if you could get someone clever enough to make a story that would work with this. Momentum mori. And, Moonbeam says their son could shall rule the universe. Oh, for Krull, yes, yes. And you mentioned also that if Krull had a sequel, I think it would focus on around Titch, the adopted son. Interesting. Very interesting. And Dan Candy says a Memento sequel would need to be a prequel, I think. Ooh, I like that. Yes, I like that, and a prequel. So I would take a prequel or sequel, either one, as long as it was written with the same kind of care and brilliance, which is a tough it's tough to do, and maybe Christopher Nolan would be the only one who could probably pull it off. We don't know. And, who's next? There's E.T., and, like, we said so many different things already about E.T., like, what if, E.T. had accidentally, like, laid some eggs all over the place, and there's, like, little E.T.s all over the place, and they need to go home too, so that could be one. And there could be so many other different ways you can um, tell a tale like that. Like we talked about cloning, because the government had done many experiments on ET, and so they could have cloned them and tried to see if they could do something with the alien DNA. It could turn into a horror movie. It could also just turn into a movie like these ET clones, they need to go home too. It could be a sweet story as well. And Gary Carpenter said, it's like having a sequel to Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Don't know if it'll work. Yeah, you don't know if it'll work. And like there were some movies that, and I can't remember, but that you wouldn't think, like Alien, right? Like Alien. I didn't think that I'm like, an Aliens movie, like, sequel? I didn't understand it. Um, but when I saw the the actual, um, trailer for Aliens. I was like, "Yes, we're in. We're in." It was one of those moments where it was like, they took the idea and they changed it, and they made it interesting. And that's why Aliens worked, not because they repeated the very same thing that was in the last movie. It was because they made it a little different. But they used the lore and the rules. They didn't change the rules of the movies either, of the first movie. They kept the same rules, but they what they did change was they changed the plot and the idea and and the setting and made it exciting and fun. And made it an action movie. And Joseph Gay says, "Copy Dread is on the way." See, if PO Box, oh my goodness, says it should be already a copy of Jack and the Night Stalker series and Capricorn Warren poster already in. Oh my God! Thank you. Oh my, Joseph Gay, you are so kind. Thank you. Oh my goodness, really appreciate that. And Moonbeam says, "Memento mori," Latin for remember death. Ooh, ooh, ooh! You guys are dropping the knowledge. Darth Plato. Thank you for mentioning that. And Moonbeam, thanks for explaining. Wow, you guys, you guys are double teaming. And Stumbrat says, "Joseph, nice. Yes, thank you so much. That's just incredible." Um, and Darth Plato says, "ET too, make ET the bad guy." Ooh. Well, he's like trying to get out of, the imprisonment of the government's uh, labs, and he's gotta get out of there somehow. The humans are the enemies. So yeah, maybe this time. And Ed Plato says, "Time after time," which isn't a movie I have to see, so I to see that one. That's on my list. And, Joseph, Begay says, "Would you be open to see a sequel to The Adjustment Bureau?" I never saw that movie either, and that is on my list, and I may have a digital copy of that. I gotta look. Um, oh, no, Gary, you didn't like Alien or the sequels? Oh, no. And, Moonbeam says, "E.T. was, Pat Welch, the same woman that voiced Bouche in The Return of the Jedi." And, William says, "Joseph, thanks for introducing her to Kolchak, the original X-Files." Okay, I can't wait to dive in. I got 2 movies, and so I know the series is coming up, and then, wow, that's cool. And Darth Plagueis is Starman. Oh, yes, because she has a baby, right? Ooh, she has an terrestrial baby. It's like, "I put a baby in you." It's like Jeff Bridges in that movie. Oh my goodness. Oh man, it's been a year since I've seen it, but I do need to see it again. Maybe we could do a watch party. Um, can do some refreshing. See, memory refreshment. Let's see. And oh, Sunbread says, Kolchak annoys me with his whiny voice. Oh man. And William Blake Hall says thought of it as more cynical than comical and whiny. Um, I do like the actor that he was in something else that I really, really enjoyed. Um, let's see. She calls him the old New York arguing type. Yes. And oh, Moonbeam says they teased a sequel to E.T. Elliot, all grown up, is reunited with E.T. I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know this, that there was a Starman TV show about the sun. I had no idea. No idea. Yeah, had no clue about that thing. Did somebody the marketing department just like Starman says love Starman. Yes, I mean a love story. I love that. Yes, thank you. I was like, where do I know him from? There's something the dad from A Christmas Story. He was wonderful in that. It was wonderful. He used a deeper register then? Oh, you didn't like him in that too? Oh, no. Well, yeah, I thought he was great in that. He was, that movie is just it's so crazy. I love it. Now Ratatouille. Now, okay, Ratatouille is one of those. Oh my god, I'm having a moment. Give me ooh, the allergies are they're just taking over. Um, let's see. Yeah, Ratatouille, is a movie I tried to avoid because I do not like the little critters. But when I saw the movie, I was like, "Oh, wow, this is so good." Like, if you could get me to like these characters, I'm in, right? So it definitely did that. What I was thinking was that if there was a Ratatouille 2 or even a TV show series or whatever, you know, what would that be like? What would, if somebody could imagine what that would be like? I mean, it's not the worst idea ever, but yes, yes, it is kind of a weird word. It is. And um the movie is fantastic, yeah. The mo the movie is fantastic. I've never had the dish though. I've never had the dish. I've never had the dish, which it looks good because it's all vegetables and I love vegetables. Um and Wall-E is another one. I always wanted to know what happened to the humans once they got on Earth and did they, like, all go on a diet or, like, what happened? Did this really set humanity back on where it needed to go to? And how does Wall-E fit into all of this? So that's just one of it. And, oh, William Blake Hall says, "Gonna cut out, this was fun." Oh god, no. William Blake Hall, so great to see you tonight, and hey, we got to hang out a little bit, so, yes, hopefully I'll see you, later on in the weekend if you have time to hang out with us, but, otherwise, it was such a pleasure having you hang out with us today, and, uh yes, Wall-E is just one of those movies that surprised me, and, at the same time, it's really good. Um, and Gary Carpenter says Wall-E was pretty good. Um, and movie says Starman 86 to 87, Christopher Daniel Barnes before Prince Eric and Spider-Man. Um, And, oh, wow, Joseph says, "Today is the first day of my retirement, so the idea of seeing sequels of movies series of my past is front and center of my mind." Oh, that is so cool. Yeah, I found out some startling information about movies. that there may be in existence approximately a lot over 5 50,000 movies in the world, and I'm like, "What? That's a lot of movies." And so, I'm not gonna see all of them. Nobody can see all of the movies ever, but we can see a lot of them. We can see a lot of them. So, yes, and Moonbeam is sharing our sentiments, happy retirement. I that is just wonderful that today is the first day. I hope you are starting it off with a bang and definitely hanging out with us. We appreciate you spending your time with us. Definitely, you're amazing, and you're just so incredible to the entire community. So we are lucky to have you. And Amy Jo says, Ava for Wally. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, she was so cool. I love Ava or Eve. Eva. um, and VGD, you're so kind as well. Snow Crash is on the way. You'll have it by next weekend. Thank you so very much. You're so you're so nice to me. Thank you. And Red says Joseph rock on. God bless, bro. Retirement is awesome. No makeup and no chicharrones in bed. Oh, wow, Amy, you have the Wally and Aero figures. I want okay, so I yes, so cute, so adorable. Oh my god. They're so cute. Their relationship is just wonderful. And of course I went through my Disney, Pixar, and all these animated phase here. We got Up. I really wanted to know a little bit more of what was going to happen with our characters. I I'm not sure if there was a TV show, but I wouldn't mind one. Uh, and The Breakfast Club. The Breakfast Club is really interesting because I think everyone here in the Breakfast Club is still alive, and they could very well do a catch up with everybody, but I'm not sure if everybody's still in show business. Um, so I would kind of love that. And Moonbeam says, Eva was sent out to find a vegetarian. And Gary says Kolchak was in the movie Hangar 18 about a captured UFO. Oh, so should I watch Hangar 18? I never saw Hangar 18. Oh, interesting, interesting. Um, and Dan Candy says, okay, this is cheating, but the real season two to Battlestar Galactica would have been nice. Yes. No, you're not cheating. You're just saying what I'm thinking out loud. Look, I didn't mind the show. It turned out to be a really good show, and there were lots of clever writing, and I really felt like it shouldn't have been called Battlestar Galactica because it wasn't Battlestar Galactica. It was something new altogether. Battlestar Galactica for me was that mix of real world sci-fi issues and then the comedy and the camaraderie between the boys, right? It was Boomer, Apollo, and um, Starbuck. And these guys were pals, and their friendship, and there was that tight bond between Apollo and Starbuck. So I wanted more of that, but they gave me something else completely, which is fine. It's just not Battlestar Galactica for me. So um, that was kind of kind of a letdown, but also like, okay. Um, and Darth Plato mentioned Shiva. This Shiva was really cool. Let's see. And Joseph Gay says, I have Hangar 18, 1981, an okay movie on my Plex server. Ooh. And Sunbrat says, Retro Gil Gerard asked me out. My friend Mike Vendrell, stunt coordinator, and his wife threatened to beat the crap out of me if I if I accepted. Oh no! Oh, was he a ladies' man? Oh boy. They were like, "No, you're not getting caught up in that." Well, we all need good friends to look out for us. He was very good looking though back then. It's a Wonderful Life is one that was mentioned as one kind of like when people um kind of talk about the idea of sequels, that this one is mentioned. And I'm thinking about it and I'm like, okay, how could that work? So if you were clever enough to come up with a script uh, to accompany to be a good sequel to It's a Wonderful Life, that would be kind of really cool. I would think that would be really adorable. Then Fight Club is one because Fight Club kind of ends with the entire um, grid system of credit cards or credit card debt companies are like falling to the ground. So also, like, what are the ramifications of something like that? Would he get caught? And also, you know, what if he continued on the Fight Club in jail or some sort of strange facility? Um, and of course, we can't talk about Fight Club. That's the first rule of Fight Club. You can't talk about it. So I think it would be interesting. I thought it would be interesting. And some Brett has more about the story. Gil Gerard's wife, Connie Selica, just left him. He could not stay faithful. Yeah, Connie Selica, I thought was one of the most beautiful women of that time. I was just like, she was just gorgeous. Yeah, I I thought she was incredible. Um, and Moonbeam says yes, all except for Paul Gleason as Vernon and John Hughes. Yeah, but all of um, the kids in the story, they're all alive, so you could still do something even today. Um, like so then we got Breakfast Club and Fight Club, all the clubs together. Yeah. And then Big Hero 6 is the other one that I loved so much. And I thought, oh, we need like a full on series. And I'm not sure if there was a series ever done. You guys know if there was a series done of Big Hero 6, but I would have loved a straight up movie sequel. Would have been great. And BGV says Fight Club Next Generation 100 years into the future. Interesting. And Gary Carpenter says, "Do you remember the movie Short Circuit? Circuit 1 or 2 were both really funny." Oh, I don't remember. I saw them. I just don't remember those movies. Just don't remember those movies. And some ret says, "Retro, that's what my friend said. Gil was married to the most beautiful woman in the world and could not stay faithful." That's that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, she was just gorgeous. Um, And, it says, rule number 1, we don't talk about Fight Club. Rule number 2, We don't talk about Fight Club. So I guess we're not talking about Fight Club, guys. Ah, and, Shambrad says, "Me and my brats loved, Short Circuit." It's probably time for another rewatch for me because 'cause it's been a long time. Gary says, "I'm a big fan of Steve Guttenberg." Yeah, yeah, he was really funny. He was funny in those movies. Okay, so bonus round, guys. I'm gonna go by this really, really fast because I don't want to keep you guys here for 5 hours. You know how long I got. But Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I thought could have used a little bit more. I love Mia Sarah. I thought she was so cool. And at this point in time, um, I thought that there was some more story stuff than would be really great. Okay, the Dark Crystal, which was mentioned before. What happens after these aliens go to Throg, go back to their world? And there's actually a short story that tells that. But it would have been nice to see it on the big screen. What happens? They are still, they actually still get into trouble once they get to Thra. They're good for a while, and then they have to come back to the Dark Crystal. And it's not Thra. Thra is the world that they're on, but they're from another world. And so they go back to their own world, and they stay there for like a millennia or something like that, and then they have to come. They go back to Thra because they weren't able to stay good the whole time. So that is interesting, but as we know, when they arrive on Thra, they didn't turn into the Skeksis until they broke the Dark Crystal. So uh, they would have to re-break the, the crystal again, and in order for them to become the Skeksis again. The Skeksis want peace. And the labyrinth, of course, which is on the cover. I always wanted to know what happened afterwards. If uh, Jareth came back to the lovely, lovely uh, Sally, and it just I don't know. I have thoughts. I have thoughts about a labyrinth too. I don't know if you guys have a uh, any thoughts about that, but let me know. Let me know. I would love to see a labyrinth too. The Nightmare Before Christmas. I always wanted to see more of those characters in the Halloween town, and wanted to see like how from now on they're going to celebrate Christmas. Uh, and Witches of Eastwick is another one that these all the witches had children, right? They all had, I think boys. They had all boys, um, and so it kind of teased like there would be more of a story after this, but I really would like to see it. Then we talked about the day the Earth stood still, a true follow up to the story. And what I was thinking is that the Earth completely, you know, don't follow any of the rules that were laid down by um, the alien and Gort, and they basically just going ahead and cause nuclear war, and the robots come back and they start to occupy the Earth, and because Earthling's naughty. Earthling's naughty. Klaatu, yes, Klaatu. Klaatu is his name. Um, you guys are so yes, you're on top of it. Yes. And let's see. Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension, which is where we would love to see the World Police one that they teased was going to happen. It never happened. Uh, and like anything Buckaroo Banzai, I wish they would do it again. um, and, like and they can, and they will probably have to reboot, but I hope they keep it in the style of fun and weirdness, like, fun and weirdness. If they can keep those 2, like, make it fun and make it weird, and and they'll be on the right track. I don't mind, as long as they keep it, funny too, like, and strange and unusual. 'Cause I think that's the flavor of Buckaroo Banzai. Now, I never did, and I probably should look at the comic book. I'm you ooh, that's that okay, so I'm gonna have to look and see if I can track down the comic book because I bet that would tell you some more about this, but I love the movie because it was weird and, like, straight up, like, I don't know what they were smoking and what they were what they were taking. It was just completely insane, and, Kal the Conqueror, I wanted to see more movies with Kal the Conqueror because that was, the first iteration before Conan existed, there was Kull the Conqueror, and so I really wanted to see his story because that's basically, Conan the Barbarian, that movie. We're basically watching Kull the Conqueror's storyline, to be very honest. That's where they're getting a lot of their information or story ideas from for that movie, which I absolutely loved, and so I wanted Kull to have his own thing. uh, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I wanted to see how Charles or Charlie was gonna run the company. And did he become the next Willy Wonka? Did he like adopt the name or did he just what actually happened in his storyline? I wanted to see more stories from Barbarella from, the '60s, probably '70s inspired, kinda looks, everything like how they kinda had it in that world. I wanted to see more of that kind of world, not so much, our new, like, science fiction outlook, but how they would do it in, like, the '70s and '60s, that flavor. So really, really, wanted that psychedelic look and, flavor. And barbed wire. I wanted more of this sort of, campy barbed, Barbarella kind of, right, in a different kind of world. Um, I wanted more of this character, and we just didn't get it because it was just not, uh it wasn't a hit, and, it was, pretty much panned, which sucks. Small Soldiers, I wanted to see more, like, what happened to, the Gargonites? Like, what happened to them? What happened? I wanted more from the story. And Lair of the White Worm. They managed to take down this particular lair of the white worm, and I know that there were other lairs out there. So I wanted more story around this kind of weird cult, but also this kind of strange vampire sect, and I thought it would be so awesome. And we never got any more. Just that was it. I want more. And Coneheads, like, come on, we should have we should have had a whole franchise worth of Conehead stuff. But the movie was too weird and unusual, and it didn't garner another sequel, which it didn't garner a sequel at all. So that was kind of sad. But I love this weird movie. Free one says cone-headed. And disturbing behavior. Now, this movie had the nerve to give us a tease for more at the end of it, which was basically Nick Stahl's character becomes a teacher at a new school, and he is carrying on the sort of they the the idea of creating students who are are doing everything to the book. They're really good students and they do what they're told, but there is a problem with the computer system. It it gets when the kids get angry, they don't know how to control their anger and it goes off. And so it becomes a horror movie. So I definitely wanted to see a little bit more of that and to see how it's dealt with. Uh, so why are they called coneheads? Love it. Movie says, yes, where are the white world left the door open for a sequel? Absolutely, I want more. Oh man. And The Last Dragon. Yeah, The Last Dragon is one I thought we could have had more um stuff going on there. It was, it was just kind of sad that it just only had one movie. I'm not sure how it did on the box office. I know a lot of people made a big deal about it, but it's definitely something that could have gone on, just like The Karate Kid, because this was that kind of film. It was sort of you know, a version of, if you will, of the Karate Kid, but it was done in a different way. Oh, Wex Wex Luthor is here. Hello, Wex Luthor. Says Bruce Leroy for the win. Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, that would have been kind of cool. He could have just kept going on. He did tournaments and all sorts of interesting things with that character. Now, the Stepford Wives is one that they did a reboot of, which um, I saw part of it, but and it was interesting, but I think they went a little too far, in my opinion, in the ridiculous way. And the Stepford Wives, uh, the original movie was more spookier to me, and scarier, much scarier. So I really wanted to go into this movie and kind of make a part two as to like, you know, maybe someone like actually breaking out of this, um, one of the wives becoming um, able to like get out of this situation and do something about this. So that's something that I would have loved to see a Stepford Wives too, where we have someone escape this whole thing. And we've got The Hidden. I love The Hidden so much. It's so good. But it teased another like galaxy and worlds. Well, actually, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This movie does have a sequel, but it's terrible. It's not the sequel did not have it had hardly very much to do with the actual movie. So this movie should not be on the list, but I wish there really was a well-written, part 2 sequel. Sorry about that, guys. Uh, Forrest Gump. I thought that there should have been a little bit more. I really wanted to see more of Forrest Gump, um, like, just him, like, going his later years and, the wisdom he can give other people. Forrest Gumpier? Exactly, he's more Gumpier this time. Bigger, badder, and Gumpier. And BGD says, "I would like to see a remake of Escape from New York where Kurt Russell plays the president." Ooh, that could be interesting. That could be very interesting. The names here, you guys are killing me. Forrest Gamp. Oh man, that's killing me. And Step Away Wives. Oh my goodness. Oh, Darth Plato mentions Back to School. Yes, very good. And Free One also mentioned Escape from LA. Stepford, stepmoms. You guys are just oh my goodness. You guys are killing me. Killing me. All right. And Stepford says, "Raising my son was a horror movie." Ah, and, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is one that I thought would have been really, really cool, because we did have, the one guy that escaped at the very end, and it would be kinda nice to um, follow him. And Close Encounters of the Third Kind, we talked about this, and William Blake Hall had some great ideas for this where, the aliens, came back to to take even more people, and then the government saying, "Huh, wait a minute. Wait a minute, what are you doing with the humans?" But that, of course, would go against uh, Stephen, why am I forgetting his last name? I know his last name. Um, the director's plan for it. Oh my goodness, I don't know what's wrong with my mind. Yes, it's been 3 hours, that's why. Okay, sorry. My brain is starting to, like, spaz out. We're almost finished, I think. Yes, we're finished. Oh gosh. Yes, my mind is fried right now, guys. I have lost it. Oh gosh. And Darth Plato says, I know a guy who did a 10-year research project on CE of the fourth kind. Oh, really? Interesting. Yes, yeah. Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind. That's a good that's a good title. Oh my goodness. You guys you guys are so funny. So Brett says, "Retro, have a bite of chocolate." I am actually. I haven't had my bite of chocolate for today, so I am. Uh, and Free One says, "Retro nerd too. Time for a nap." Yes, probably, or just a refresher. Just another Zevia and uh, stevia ginger ale and just a rest for a few moments, and then I'll be back to normal again. And Amy Jo's so sweet. Thank you. I'm glad you're here, Retro Nerd. Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I am Dark Play top 20 movies that could have had a sequel too. And I've been known to do um, sequels to a lot of these live streams, but I'm happy to report this is it. Yeah. And this is my 198th live stream. My 200th live stream will be on Sunday, along with my 8-year anniversary to the date of that day. And I hope you guys will be there tomorrow. I will be doing, let's see, what's my movie for tomorrow? Back to school, everybody. That's going to be a lot of fun. I hope to see you there. And later on, I'm going to be on Lorena Creole's channel, and we're going to be watching a goofy movie, and that's also going to be fun. That's going to be officially my first time seeing the entire thing. I think I've seen parts of it, but not the entirety of it. So, um, and Dan Candy says the book of Cuckoo's Nest is actually narrated by the chief. Ah, yes, 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 yes. So it'd be cool to follow his story some more. And I thought he was one of the most fascinating characters. And says, Moonbeam says, yeah, but Will Sampson is dead, so they couldn't do a sequel to. Well, they could call it something else. Or, he could have been caught and then released again. So then there would be another, like, another weird, another sequel, idea. They could do something. I just always thought that there could be more. Um And Joseph Begay says, heading out to celebrate my retirement with some friends. Yes! Have a good night, you all. Thank you so much for being with us, Joseph, and happy retirement. So glad for you, and definitely hope to see you really, really soon. uh, and Retro, can you move your hair? I want to see your shirt. Oh, it's just a silver little thingy wingy thing like that. It's just, nothing fancy. It's just a standard spacesuit. Standard suit. I'll be wearing a pink one on my anniversary. And everyone says 200. Yes. Ow. And VGD says, have a great evening. Oh, yes, you too as well. Thank you guys. You're so wonderful to me. Thanks for hanging out with me and enduring all my tears and my cry fest and also all the laughs that we had. We had such a good time. And we just, I'll be here, Retro. That's so kind of you. And Moonbeam lets us know that Will Sampson died in 1988. 7 just after Poltergeist. And Dan Candy says, 4.99. Thank you so much, Dan Candy. Says, by the way, Retro, I dig tonight's outfit. Thank you. You guys are so sweet. Like, you notice the little things. Really appreciate that. And a little, I still have more thank you responses, and here's one. Thank you so much. And some Brett says, me too. Yes. Oh gosh, thanks, guys. Let's see. And and Amy just says, I'll be here for the Retro Nerd Girl. I'll be there, Retro Nerd Girl, for the anniversary stream. Okay, great, great, great. I'm so glad you'll be there. So good. You guys are so amazing. Oh, thank you, Bonzo. Sweet space shirt. Yeah, so nice. And Movie says if they did a sequel, they have to recast the chief. Yeah, they probably won't. But for the story, if it's a good story, And definitely it says visitors from Earth in Battlestar wore that shirt. Retro. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. And Bonzo is telling everyone have a good weekend. Thank you so much. Yes. And so I think I'm gonna head out too. And so good night, everybody. Let's see if I can get um we'll do our typical closing of me flying away because I gotta go to the other galaxy, take care of some business. But without further ado, everybody, thank you so much for being here. And I bid you adieu. Take care.
Retro Nerd Girl, you are clear for takeoff.